You ready?
Okay.
Thanks, Aline. Sorry for that.
It's okay.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, Aline.
Hi, hello, Corina. How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Good, good. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. Nice that you're watching our live stream. It's Fashion Revolution Week, and today we have Alline Ochoa. She's a fashion designer, and she's an expert in biomaterials, in new materials, in circular. She's she's about to found a biodesign hub to make all this knowledge and all this experiment chances to give chances to experience to designers and students. So she will talk about this and give you an insight in about in the whole scape of this interesting field.
You are now muted.
Aline, I pass on to you.
Hi, hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Alline Ochoa, as already Corina said. I'm a former fashion and textile designer and also architect. And I've been working on the fashion industry for over 15 years for different luxury houses and also with my own couture house since 2011. And I've been always looking ahead for new innovations, especially in sustainable materials, because I'm both passionate about materials and nature and what can nature can create. And one of my biggest concerns has been always the environmental impact of the fashion industry and textile, of course. So therefore, I've been always researching for the best and most sustainable ways of production and material sourcing as possible. And this always led me to find innovative alternatives to materials that are truly sustainable and rather renewable if possible. So most of the times I kind of doubt the transparency of our supply chain, as we know, is not very reliable. So since the past 4 years, I've been more focused on going deep on my research to find the best solutions and innovations on renewable and bio-based materials. So I came across BioDesign. So BioDesign is a multidisciplinary way of viewing and creating where we can learn from nature to create more sustainable ways of living. It's in which biological and biomimetic process will replace the old methods of creating materials from extracting raw materials from oil and other linear resources. That is the main problem. And to move towards the new renewable as a means to incorporate these kind of inherent life conductive principles of biological living systems into design processes to transition into a more holistic and kind of sustainable future. Because I think we as creatives are first of all very curious. I think we also love to discover and explore new technologies and materials. This is our main media to work with. And I think many of us love nature and mostly get inspiration from nature, as I don't think we always find the most beautiful and modern. I think we always found the most beautiful and modern designs in nature. So I thought, like, what if we could design with nature and also for nature? There is infinite possibilities of creation using materials that are actually truly sustainable, that can biodegrade and also be reused, and that we find it in our surrounding nature environment. Also, it's a great way to use nature without exhausting it and nor damaging our natural resources. I think it's just a question of time, as any innovation takes time to be understood and accepted, to be also more commonly used, and finally becomes also more rentable and more companies can start to work and develop these new materials. So like exploring this interface of biological sciences and design, we can really challenge established craft and manufacturing paradigms.
You are
Through
now
this work,
muted.
we will redefine the use of energy, water, air, waste, and other materials. So, yeah, about
Aline,
I decided to create a platform to connect science with art and design, which I kind of call it, yeah, BioDesign Hub, as it can be like a multidisciplinary research platform that connects design, art, and science to exchange knowledge and evolve on the fabrication of renewable and innovative materials, and also foster innovations that can enable material value chains to become more resource efficient, in line with all the climate, energy, and sustainable development goals. I think we must learn as designers or creatives, we must learn to design with uh, more self-replicant and dynamic living properties. And instead of designing out of life, design with it and for it. Because I think nature is the most intelligent and best manufacturing technology on the planet. And I mean, after 3.8 billions of years of evolution, nature knows what it works, what is appropriate, and what lasts. Taking nature as a model through it's called biomimicry, or getting inspiration and learning from nature, we can better understand how to use our resources circularly and respectfully to build also a better future. I actually I love this quote from uh, Janine Benyus because it's so true and simple. Which is the, I mean, Bajani Benyus is the pioneer of biomimicry. I really find it like so true. It says nature runs on sunlight. Nature uses only the energy it needs. Nature fits form to function. Nature recycles everything. Nature rewards cooperation. Nature banks on diversity. Nature demands local expertise, that is, our surroundings. Nature curbs excess. Century-old methods and technologies that is mostly, of course, oil. And as a context for textile research, I think creative design education is fast adopting learning strategies that embrace sustainable values. And today, new economic models such as circular and bio-based industries are emerging, and with them, a whole new range of design toolkits, introducing also science to design practices. I think we can really enrich and bring a full new range of design thinking to develop new possibilities of different applications on the industry. Really innovate on the creation of new inventions, but also I think as science, understanding and learning the design thinking through cross collaborations will really broaden the horizon of different possibilities of applications of the industry in one side, but also to how a technology can be applied on new design creations. So I think design and science profession for me will need to transition to this new context, and the recent rise of biodesign, that is this discipline where we intersect biology and design principles, highlights a kind of new beginning of an emerging and profound paradigm shift for design. And science is promising also to work on cross collaboration. So talking about circular economy, I think is something very, very important today, because we have been living for hundreds of years, except for Aborigines tribes. But all civilizations have been living in a very linear way. And circular economy is very important today. And I think the next generation of designers has begun to embrace a shifting context where the bioeconomy seems to be a fast evolving model for a post-petroleum society. Let's hope. And today, I think mostly every country in the world had integrated bioeconomy in their policy strategies. And therefore, fashion companies are also willing, and we hope that are willing to move to a new renewable and innovative material offer. Yes, there is like a growing number of initiatives that take a stance to protect the environment. Bioeconomy is fast emerging as a transitional model away from the current linear petrochemical economy and the convergent traditional exploitation of biological resources together with cutting-edge synthetic biology research and the design of living factories. I think bioeconomy initiatives and brings designers to recalibrate their practice, because also biotextiles can offer a great alternative material choice to influence future sustainable textile propositions. So yeah, just to make a little small resume about what is the impact of the fashion and textile industry, and also what are the benefits to transition towards a more sustainable and circular industry economy. Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest threats for our future that needs to change is, first of all, the way we consume. To reduce our consumption patterns, this is what it will be the biggest change. And yeah, we'll just mention a couple of small, very small problems. Otherwise, I can go for hours, and it's not the intention to focus on this. So, I mean, if we can see the carbon, for example, the fashion industry produces 10% of all human carbon emissions. The water, the textile manufacturer is the second largest consumer of the world's water supply, and is responsible also of 20% of all industrial water production worldwide, just counting of what it goes in landfills. So about 35% of all microplastics in the ocean came from laundering of synthetic textiles like polyester, and also from the factories where they dye materials, etc. And producing actually materials with bacteria uses 5 times less water on the process. That is already enormous. The waste is about 85% of all textiles go to the dump each year, and do not just biodegrade, but the chemicals from these garments release the methane gas that goes on the atmosphere, on all the very toxic chemicals from these clothes end up on the fresh water and our oceans. 35% of these materials in the supply chain end up as a waste before a garment or product reaches the consumer. And it is expected with different studies by 2050, or even before actually, that is reviewed to have 10 billion of people that needs to be dressed, talking about fashion. And this represents the need of 300 millions of tons of non-renewable inputs. So even if we recycle, this is the best way to reuse things, but we will still need more inputs. And if we continue using non-renewable inputs, we don't have these inputs. So this is a huge problem, as we will need never have these inputs, and we continue living on this linear consumption behavior. We're not going to make it to be able to cover all these necessities of the overconsumption. So talking about soil as well, surveys show that nearly 5 to 8% of landfill space is consumed by textile waste. It pollutes land and makes them also useless and barren in the long run. I mean, there's many surveys that talk about that cotton, for example, consumes the highest amount of harmful pesticides and fertilizers, not talking about also the slavery of the conditions of how people cultivate cotton and the amounts of water, as cotton uses the biggest amount of water than as any other textile. So majority of them, they go into the land and they are sprinkled on the crop. Similarly, textile manufacturing units releases hazardous waste into the nearby land. So it's not just on the land itself. And also, most clothes in the world are made using fossil fuels. Oil-based polyester is the most commonly used fabric in the world, with nearly 60 million tons that were produced in 2019. Fashion's second favorite fiber is cotton, and it's a product with a very, very complicated environmental footprint, whose presence links to modern slavery, as I said before, as problematic as its past. So even organic cotton can be sustainable, as we cannot assure the transparency on the supply chain, as is mostly commonly produced in Asian countries, and the legislation and regulations are not transparent in this side of the continent. So if we do transition towards a more circular economy as an alternative to the traditional linear economy that is make, use, dispose, in which we keep resources in use for as long as possible, I think we can extract the maximum value from them while in use, then recover and regenerate products and materials at all end of each service life to reuse and recycle more materials, eliminating waste and pollution and regenerating the environment to kind of close the loop in a way such as renewables materials are. So a transition away from fashion's current extractive linear business model is crucial, and will be transformative if we foster innovations that can enable bio-based textile value chains to become more resource efficient, circular, and reduce their carbon, greenhouse gas, and water footprint, and will be also in line, of course, with climate, energy, and sustainable development goals, to prevent also significantly and reduce plastic microfiber pollution, to improve the efficiency and technological performance of bio-based textile recycling, and demonstrate different solutions and develop strategies for the circular innovation on the whole innovative bio-based textile system. Strengthen also the market position and increase the market share of bio-based textiles, and deliver results in a form that allows for efficient feedback into policy making and research, innovation, and technology. But most of is very important is to always try to raise awareness and create a better framework for systematic innovation and uptake results through broad stakeholder engagement. And finally, it will require a transition from obscure and transactional supply chains to transparent and relational value networks. I don't know if I'm still connected because am I still there?
You are now muted. You are now unmuted. You are now muted.
Yes, we hear you. We just switched off the feedback. So this is why we're not with the microphone connected. We listen to you. Yes, we hear you.
I think I got kicked out. Hello? Yeah.
And you can continue. Everybody.
Okay, because I was disconnected I had to reconnect, so
Yes,
I was lost
yes.
for like 10 minutes, I think.
No, you were
No?
not. Like,
Okay.
I just removed the feedback, and you don't need. You can do the presentation and your camera on, and then it's totally fine. We see you and the presentation. You don't need to log in with 2 accounts. So this is why
Okay, okay, sorry.
now I will do
So
this time.
I'm
You
gonna,
start the camera. Just start the camera on the one you're presenting, and I'll throw out the other user again, and then we don't have a feedback.
okay.
No? Just switch on the camera on your presentation account. Then we see you again.
I switch it on, but it doesn't work. Sorry, technical problems.
But actually, you're in with both accounts now, so we should see you anyway.
So I get out from the other.
No, you don't have to do anything. Just switch on your camera on both devices, and we see you. And I can then take it out if it's a feedback.
It doesn't work
Okay.
in none of them. It's not working.
The camera is not working. Welches ist denn der richtige Knopf, Marc?
It says that the media cannot.
The media, but we see your presentation actually.
Yeah, okay, so we continue without the academy. She doesn't allow me.
Does it allow you to start the camera?
No, it doesn't.
Mm.
It says like it's not possible. I don't know why.
Because you have.
Doesn't work.
Already coming?
It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't even let me.
Well, then continue the presentation, and maybe we can switch you on somehow from here.
Okay.
We'll try.
But now I cannot actually. Oh yeah, okay.
We hear you. We see your presentation.
So sorry for the technical problems.
Yeah. That's
So
not your. It's not your fault. It's like I don't
I
know.
will continue then just talking on the presentation. So yeah. So yeah, coming back of yeah, all these biomaterials, it is expected that biological and is in another way, also greater education is required to ensure also professionals understand the impact of their sourcing choices and to be empowered to make better decisions for the planet. Um, I think we should start to work together for one purpose, that is to find a better way of living. So more in harmony with our nature and ourselves, to find solutions together for a better future, as it is to work more in cross collaboration and come out of our kind of bubble. Because designers can also bring a new different perspective to science and broaden also different horizons of how a technology can be applied in different design applications, for instance. New understandings also through cross collaborations, we can emphasize the importance of the intellectual exchange, building a common language and learning from each other. The involvement on the design process in scientific thinking is the bridge where we will model also the future. We prototype and develop and improve multiple products and a range of different applications and benefits that will, I think, revolution the industry and the material. Um, Exchanging also with science, I think there's a whole new perspective of design thinking and can really foster a range of possibilities for the different industry applications based on a specific technology or material. And understanding also the design process will bring different perspectives from the science and design point of view for future applications and form of creation in different industries. So in a way, I think we should bring the textile industry heritage towards a more biotechnological, innovative, and sustainable circular industry. I mean, if we look back of how Aborigines were using materials and textile, they were using it in the most sustainable and circular way. It's more the industrialization and the overconsumption that lead us to a very linear industry. But also, I think biotextiles can offer alternative material choices to influence future sustainable textile propositions. In general, I believe biology is the best manufacturing technology on the planet. I mean, if we can see in science, in industry, in different industries, everything that we have as the most biggest advances in technology has been always inspired by nature. I think through history, material innovation has marked different civilization progresses. Like, for example, in the Stone Age, we mastered natural materials like leather. Later on, with the Industrial Revolution, silk and wool, and the Plastic Age brought us synthetic polymers. And now the Information Age unlocked life itself, that is the DNA. And now, building on decades of innovation, we are able to tap into nature's toolkit to create a transformation in materials that signify a new era. That is the, I call, biofabrication kind of age, if we see it in this point of view. So designing at the cellular level to produce proteins that are tailored for optimal material attributes, then growing these engineered cells into billions of protein producing cell factories, which becomes kind of building blocks of our materials. And then we configure our bio-based materials to fulfill a wide range of properties that can fit the unique requirements of each application. So here are some innovations on renewable, both renewable and bio-based materials, but also very important is, I think, is the geographical availability of these natural resources of our raw materials, because we have different kind of waste in different countries in Europe, like Italy, they have a lot of grapes, in Colombia, they have a lot of coffee, ananas, etc., etc. So this is also very important to use our local waste streams. So there's so many, but I personally love very much brew protein, such as spider silk or brew spider silk, as I've been always working with silk because of all its properties and beautiful haptics. So through silk is not a very sustainable material actually, and today the amazing thing is that we can have a new way of producing silk on a more sustainable way and without using any animals, no arable land, and much less water. So raw protein materials can be processed into a variety of forms, with examples ranging from delicate filament fibers with a silky sheen to spun yarns that boast features such as cashmere-like softness or the renowned thermal and moisture-wicking properties of wool. Brew protein materials have a lot to offer ethically and environmental as benefits as well, and are, of course, bio-based and biodegradable, and are designed to be renewable and to not create or break down into the environmentally damaging microplastics of other materials. And also we avoid ethical issues reducing greenhouse gas emissions from when compared to animal fibers, the usage of arable land and water. For example, also spider silk fibers are 100% nature bio-based polymers. So they have a combination of strength and elasticity, but at the same time, they are ultra light. This all comes with high skin sensation behavior. They have like this kind of moisture control management, and they are 100% biodegradability. Also, brew protein, as I explained before, uses 500 times less water on its production than a normal mulberry silk plantation, avoiding also the enormous surfaces of soil that both should be used for food and drinking water. So this also unique microbial fermentation technology used in brew protein production can also avoid ethical issues and reduce greenhouse gas emissions when compared to other fibers, or animal fibers. So with this combination of resource efficiency, adaptability, environmentally responsible design, and economically competitive and circular for a more sustainable future. Also, spider silk it has these incredible superior mechanical characteristics that has the potential to surpass the current generation of high performance fibers. So these are fully renewable, biodegradable, and biocompatible, call it super fibers, can be thin, can be lightweight, flexible, resilient, and extraordinarily strong. So this is very good for durability. And they can display strength to weight radius more comparable to aramid fibers than other current performance fibers. So in apparel applications, the possibilities of recombining also spider silks are particularly exciting because realizing these unprecedented combinations of physical properties such as luxurious feel and breathable comfort with top durability, I think is really it's really amazing. But then we have also one of the most popular, that is mycelium, that is mushrooms, as is best biomaterial used to replace leather, because I mean, we most of the products we see on the market are mostly using mycelium because it's really easy to grow and almost also any kind of do-it-yourself you can experiment at home. So basically, mycelium is the network of thread-like cells that make up fungi, and is made up of billions of tiny branching cells, which form a 3D microscale mesh kind of structure. And the amazing thing is that it holds the forest floor together and acts as a nature's recycling system by releasing enzymes that break down natural materials and releases nutrients into soil. So actually it cleans the soil and it gives nutrients to the soil. So it's used to replace mostly leather, and also is used as a colorant instead of the classic process of tanning that is extremely chemical harassing and is very bad also for the people working on the tanning process. And as a textile as well, it can be used as other products for industrial and construction materials and so on. So unlike making leather, the process of making mycelium doesn't involve, of course, raising any livestock or any other associated greenhouse gases or material waste. It's made using, okay, we call vegan inputs because it's organic, and minimizing its environmental impact. Is remarkably leather-like, but no animals are used in the making. It grows in a matter of weeks compared to animal hides, which takes years to grow. I'm not talking also about using the animals, the land, etc. So it's designed to be as sustainable as it can be and economically competitive at every stage of its life cycle, as it doesn't involve any rising animal hides. So today, yeah, many luxury fashion brands are already launching a range of products on the market, such as we can see here, Stella McCartney, Hermes, that is also a sign of quality. So the technology today is so advanced that we can have a very beautiful and very functional product. Yeah, we have like big brands like Adidas, North Face, and many other also young designers. Another type of biomaterials are the bioplastics. These are produced by a natural occurring biopolymer from waste, biogas or methane, that is economically competitive with conventional petroleum-based plastics. They are fully biodegradable biopolyester fibers and are a sustainable alternative to petroleum-based polyester used in the 2.4 trillion fashion industry. Also, the good thing of bioplastics is that we can use any kind of organic waste that goes from going to the markets and all the fruits and vegetables, coffee, etc. I will talk about this later. So biopolyester can be used also with other natural textile materials to produce a truly sustainable product, because this carbon recycling technology enables regeneration of new apparel from used apparel without reduction in quality. That this is one of the big problems we have when we recycle. That to reach the quality of the fiber, it needs a lot of very harassing chemicals that actually makes it very unsustainable, so it's kind of contradictory. But the best of it is that we can make bioplastic using almost any kind of organic waste. We get it in all the organic waste facilities also, but also from homes, etc., like from fruits, vegetables, coffee, and even from cow shit, actually, without mentioning that we are solving already a problem that is using waste to create a material out of this waste that is both renewable and biodegradable, and therefore we can truly close the loop and replace the plastics, the classic oil-based plastics. So bacteria or biogas, that is the methane, for example, entering a waste facility such as landfills, wastewater treatment plants, agricultural facilities where methane gas is produced, depending on the country of production, for example, also food plantations like coffee, bananas, or any fruit or vegetable that generates amounts of bio-waste and methane gas, polluting not just the air but also the soil, can be actually used to create a material that is the bioplastic and replace this very unsustainable material, managing also at the same time the local waste streams, for example. And we could also actually create different different kind of ways. Like, for example, in Italy are using a lot of are making leather out of all the waste from the grapes of making wine, and it's actually, the result is beautiful. So another material that is actually also my favorite, that is kelp, or better known as algae. Is one my favorite because it's this type of seaweed or macroalgae that is grown globally in cold coastal waters. I love kelp because it's one of the fastest growing and most rapidly replenishing organisms on Earth. It's grown in the ocean, of course, and it doesn't rely on harmful fertilizers, of course, nor pesticides, and does not use arable land, logically, and nor fresh water for drinking or irrigation as all the other materials. But the amazing thing is that efficiently sequesters carbon, or CO2, while filtering surrounding waters. So it acts also as a filter to clean the water of the oceans. And also farming kelp rebuilds economic and ecological communities that are affected by overfishing. Overfishing is actually, I think, one of the #1 problems that we have in the planet, that we haven't taken it very serious. But also pollution by providing a new income source and improving marine habitats. Also, these fibers can be used as a yarn or as a leather replacement in a material like looks also actually like leather. For example, in any coastal town, you can use algae, as is extremely fast growing and has the properties I mentioned before, that is sequestering the CO2 and cleaning the water naturally. We have also fungi forest floor together and access, releasing these nutrients back into the soil. Therefore, it's fully circular and basically keeps the health of our soils and helps it to regenerate. This is another reason why soil that has been spread of harassing fertilizers becomes barren in the long run, destroying any kind of live organism. So we have different techniques with the bioplastics or bioleather, that is the crafted materials, such as bioplastics that come into silicone type, resin type, foam-like. There's also the fish waste that gives plastics that look like kind of leather. The algae can be used, as I said before, as a yarn and leather. Bombyx that gives more for like a matte texture. Pinatex that is used as a leather replacement. Then we have the grown materials that is all kind of microbial leathers. The fungi that is also used as leather, the temper that is also used as leather, or the lab-grown leather and spider silk. Here you can see actually sort of like a brewery where they are brewing protein. Yeah, there are so many examples of how the industry today is working with these new, we say new materials, they have been there for centuries. It's just we haven't been really using it to replace the materials that we are doing now. So the benefits on the environmental impact are incredibly positive for the future. So, for example, Adidas launched some years ago already, like bioengineered spider silk sneakers, as well as Omega did the strap of a watch. A company in Japan called Fiber is collaborated with Northern Face to create the ski jacket and has launched commercial production this year, as well as producing the bio smoking for Jima Nakasato. We can see here. That is just incredible. So it's a proof that it's not just for very big companies. So all this like brew protein is made out of protein. They created this fiber that is called like spider silk. There's other companies such as Bold Threads that did this collaboration with Stella McCartney and produced the spider silk dress and the iconic Falabella bag that is the bio leather made out of mycelium. Now launching a full range of mycelium-based leatherless products are to be launched this year. I mean, there's also many young designers experimenting, like we can see it here, that they kind of integrate bacteria into the fibers of clothing that reduce body odor, encourages cell renewal, and improves the immune system when activated by sweat. Or other students here on the right have used bacteria to design like a sort of a bio skin or a second skin that peels back in reaction to sweat and humidity. So there is many actually different both young designers and brands that are working with biomaterials. And finally, not just big luxury brands such as Hermes, Stella McCartney, Adidas, North Face, etc. But also it seems to start to become more affordable as more developments come out and the technology becomes more refined. So designers are experimenting by themselves also with different materials, especially using mushrooms, algae, and other type of bioplastics that we can kind of homemade and is made also out of organic waste. Such as like we can see here, Alice Potts is doing this kind of bioplastic sequins and doing collaborations to do accessories. I like it very much, the work of Yolande Wet. She works with algae and does these very beautiful woven textile materials. And of course, what I mentioned before, Yuma Nakasato with biospider silk. So maybe like mostly like all these materials, especially algae, bio-waste, and mushroom leather, they are quite actually easy to work with because they can grow just the right amount that we need, using also like vegan inputs, minimizing already the environmental impact. Talking about spider silk also is studied to understand this kind of relationship with the spider DNA and characteristics of the fibers they make. So today technology allows to make those proteins without using spiders, using a brewing fermentation process similar of making beer, as we can see here. So here's more like this is one of a little graph of how very simple how it works. That basically they study this protein and is spun by spiders to determine what gives them their incredible properties, and then they develop this protein that is inspired by natural cells by using bioengineering, put genes into yeast, and they produce the protein in large quantities through fermentation using yeast, sugar, and water. Of course, it uses much less water than any other material. Then they kind of isolate and purify the silk protein and spin it into fibers, similar to fibers like rayon or acrylic. And then they can knit these fibers into fabrics and garments. So I think we can still be positive and build up a better future. Change is made out of many small voices and initiatives, as for example, that's why fashion revolution is because if it wouldn't have been people on the past that rise for human rights in certain point in the history, for racial, gender, sexual equality, slavery, etc., we wouldn't have today enjoy of these advantages. And still though, we have a lot to do, and now we have to tap into the damage that we have been doing to our planet, as we cannot continue go on taking, destroying and exhausting, but rather take more serious climate change and environmental impact. Because at the end, we do it all for our own species or kind of survival, to live in peace on a better world, as it is. This is an amazing planet, because nature will always recover anyway, but the only damage that we are doing is to our own humanity. So let's continue the revolution in a positive way and contribute with what you can, and try to raise our voices, informing people as well, and spreading a good message. Let's try to be part of and not apart from the genius that surrounds us, that is our beautiful planet. And thank you for listening and following. I hope it was not too heavy, boring anyway. And sorry for the technical problems. I hope it was not too confusing. So thanks Corina and Mark and all the Fashion Revolution team to make this possible. And we continue with the re-evolution and spread the message.
Totally. Aline, can you try to switch on your camera again or close the presentation so we might see you?
Yes.
That's smiling.
Let's see. Maybe I think it's working here.
I think if you just close. If you just close the presentation, maybe your picture will appear.
But it doesn't want to
Yes,
open the camera. I don't know why. Maybe I try with the other.
Working.
Hey. Okay, maybe I'm trying with both. Maybe one of them works. No. Mess.
Well, yes. Thank you very, very much, Aline. We saw you before.
I'm sorry. I tried with both computers, but it doesn't.
It's weird because at that point I can't switch on my camera either. So
anyway,
going on
technology I think needs to be improved as well.
There's something in the chat. Let's see. No, there's nobody in the chat.
I don't know.
Yeah, but we have Urs on the call and Susanna on the call. That maybe they want to say something. You're free to unmute and say something if you like. Ja. Der Urs?
Hallo. Ja. Guck mal, das da noch. Ohne.
Hello.
Das Mikrofon ist ab am Mostrieren.
Ah, ja. Urs?
Ja. Hallo.
Hallo, wir hören dich.
Schön. Ja, schöner Vortrag, danke. Ich glaube auch, there's a bright future ahead of us. Just need to work together. Und? Mikro ist
Oh, Aline is there.
Aline is muted again.
So Urs is going to have the biomaterial fashion talk later today, like starting at 12, and he will guide us and experiment, especially with this, what Aline was talking about, the brewing of materials with bioengineering.
From the lab, which Stefan? At 1. Oh no, 12.
With Gaudens, live from Gaudi Labs. So yeah,
From Gaudi.
you can get a small announcement of what you're going to do later.
We're going to work in the lab and we're basically going to do what you just talked about. We're going to make spider silk. No, we're probably not going to make spider silk, but we're going to work with microscopes and yeast and potatoes, making enzymes, and we even have like fashion, textile here, really fashionable, and even the fashion revolution flag. We have it.
Yeah, I want to be part of, please. I
Well,
would love to collaborate.
great equipment. Look at all this equipment that we have.
Come to Lucerne, Aline.
Yeah, of
Where
course.
are you, Aline?
I'm at the moment I'm in Sils Maria.
How far is that to Lucerne?
It's Engadina.
Yeah,
I'm coming back on Monday.
And we're tested negative. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but would be great. I would love to join, and wow, I would really love to join and see what you guys doing, and whatever I can help and be helpful will be very nice if we could. Wow, nice. The gloves, okay. It's a pity you can't see me. It's weird to talk with just the computer.
yeah, but if you switch off the presentation, you will.
Yeah, I already switched it off.
No.
I switched it off, but it just.
Okay.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, Susanna, we can't hear you. Your microphone is switched off. You must do the echo test. When you switch it on, you back up the echo test. Yeah. So yeah, Susanna was wanting to say something. It's disappeared.
Hello,
Hello.
it works.
Yeah.
Now you hear me and you don't see me. Now I got it. I tried to do it now.
Yeah, there you are.
I just said hi, everyone. It was an amazing presentation, Aline. Really,
Thank you.
it covered actually everything which is important. Congratulations. I listened from the start and it was very informative and very good, actually. You did
Thank you.
the whole, yeah, congratulations. Bravo.
Thank you. I was a bit lost in some point because I didn't know if I was still online or not.
Doesn't matter. It was
Doesn't
still
matter. I was talking to the screen. It's weird. It's always weird.
Still online, actually. Maybe not everybody knows.
Okay, doesn't matter.
So yes, thank you very much, Aline.
Oh, thank you very much, guys, to all of you. And let's meet very soon when you are. I mean, from next week I'm back for to be there. So I would love to hear also from the you guys what you're doing with the spider silk and brewing protein. is something I really, really love so much, and I will die for collaborate or be useful in any way. Please.
We need you around there to come here and let's start
Okay.
making.
Okay. So have a wonderful day and amazing weekend, and let's get in touch from next week and plan a meeting very soon. Yeah.
Totally.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you. I talk to you
Bye-bye.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Bye, everyone.
See you soon.
Have a great time.
Have a
Bye-bye.
great time. You too. Ciao.
And everyone on the festival, please tune in later. It will be interesting. See you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Ciao.